All right, this is the best experience with Nick Best and the Angry Dad himself. But before we get into today's podcast, did you know that you can get coached by Nick? Do you know that Nick can make an appearance at your event? Well, guess what? Link is in the notes. Send us a message and let us know. But with that being said, look, Nick is in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a hub. Every time I've gone down to visit you, Nick, Las Vegas has just been exciting. It's crazy. And you live pretty close to the Strip. At least I feel it's pretty close to the Strip. And,
close enough.
Nick has given me stories and things about Las Vegas that I didn't even know about. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted Nick to share a little bit of those stories today, you know?
Okay. No, that's cool. Yeah. There's been a lot of crazy stuff. This town, I mean, it's the entertainment capital of the world. So there's always something to do here. There's always a restaurant open somewhere, like a 5-star restaurant, not just a restaurant, but you can eat good at any time of the day here. So that's kind of neat. And, it's never boring. You can go to the outskirts of town. I live kind of on the outskirts of town. So it's about a 40, depending on traffic, between 25 and 40-minute drive in, but it's not too bad. But, I love living here. It's a neat place to live. So story-wise, if you ever see the movie Casino, there's a part in there where their kids are playing baseball at Sunset Park, and there's guys in suits in their like at the baseball practice and at the baseball games and stuff. That was my team. I played on that team. That was my team. And we had a coach that was a cop, and we had another one that was, we're not sure what he was, but
quote unquote.
Right. But it was a really neat thing. And I mean, Anthony Splatro was on the team, and he's a great dude. He's a firefighter now here. It took him a long time to get on the fire department because of the association with his dad and stuff like that, and his uncle. So, but he's a firefighter. He's a great dude. Awesome guy. It's fun to bump into him in a few places every once in a while, but it's an interesting place to grow up, because I have another close friend, the guy that actually got me lifting weights, Anthony Bach. His pawn shop was one of the places that the hole in the wall gang robbed. They knocked out the bricks and got into the back room of their pawn shop. So, I mean, it's funny how big but a small community it actually is. But, Anthony's been my friend for, good grief, for 40 plus years now. And, we don't see each other as often as we'd like. But, I mean, without him, I wouldn't have. He dragged me into the gym at the end of football practice my sophomore year. And he's like, you need to get on this. And lo and behold, I kind of went somewhere with it. So,
you know what I'm saying? Just a little somewhere with it.
Yeah, without Anthony, and this doesn't happen. So,
well, it's definitely a big thank you to Anthony, because he's given the world a good gift.
Yeah, but he owns John's Loan, which is right over across from the Sahara, in the parking lot where like the McDonald's is. And it's neat. I think he's had like 8 or 9 children now, and he's doing well. He's doing really well. It's neat to grow up here and see like your friends that you're really close to do well for themselves and live the lives that they want to live. So it's pretty neat. But we also did stuff like, one of my friend's mother was a pit boss at the Aladdin. And so we would ride our bikes about 4 or 5 miles up to the Aladdin Hotel on the Strip. And back then they had a pool with 2 diving boards. One was a low dive, one was a high dive. So we're in a hotel pool jumping off the high dive for probably half the day. We go in and she'd give us a comp, and then we go eat food and hang out and do foolish things like throw water balloons occasionally.
Allegedly.
But I mean, it's all that's kind of harmless, mischief.
Oh yeah. Kids are gonna be kids.
Yeah, we ride our bikes up and down the Strip because back then it wasn't as busy, and then all the casinos were a long way off the actual Strip. I mean, you had like the sidewalk, which was probably 3 lanes wide for cars. The sidewalk was huge, and people would walk up and down that, but then you had to walk in probably 50, 60 yards to get into the hotels. Like the Caesar's Palace fountains were way back from the road back in the day, and everything was tucked way back there. And, we'd ride our bikes down there and maybe put soap in the fountain, like dish soap, watch the fountain fuzz up.
That's it. We're going to say allegedly again.
Allegedly. Yeah. Allegedly. We go ride our bikes across the strip and underneath the Imperial Palace, which is now a link. And then come back up around Barbary Coast, which is now, I forget the name of the thing. It's where Cromwell. And we could watch the fountains bubble up and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. But it was a fun place to grow up. I saw the original MGM Fire, where that was really bad. I mean, that was before the hotels had sprinkler systems in them. And I think 81 or 83 people died in that. It was not good. But, I was here when that happened. I remember seeing that and the changes that came from that afterwards. So seeing a lot of great things. And saw Gary Wells jump the fountains. That was pretty cool. And crash. Sorry.
Yeah.
I guess they put him in Desert Springs Hospital. He was there for quite a while. But it was a really neat place to grow up. I mean, what is now Palace Station was Bingo Palace. And back in the day, they had 49-cent breakfasts.
49-cent breakfast.
Yeah,
man, you can't even get that now.
Right. So we'd be, we're young, we're in our late teens, and it'd be like 2:00 in the morning. We'd take $5 and go in and eat till we were full. We'd get 10 orders between like the four of us. It was 2 eggs, 2 pancakes, and 2 pieces of bacon and toast for 49 cents.
Man,
and so we
had
now. We got 10 plates stacked up on the table, just macking away,
piled away.
Yeah, it was kind of neat. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I miss some of those things, but yeah, it was fun. And then like back in the day, there was no cell phones. Beepers weren't even out yet, and it'd be Saturday morning, wake up, go like 4 or 5 of my buddies, and we would literally ride from the Saharan Arville area, which is probably 20 miles, 15 miles from Red Rock Canyon. And we'd ride our BMX bikes all the way out to Red Rock Canyon, go down a ways with our bikes, carrying them down.
Yeah.
To where it was a total pain for anybody to try to get them out. Then we'd chain all 4 bikes together. Yeah. And make it really hard and difficult to move them. And then we go climb the rocks for the rest of the day, come back come back probably an hour and a half, 2 hours before dark, unchain them, finish riding the 13-mile scenic loop. Especially when you get to the top of it, because once you're at the top of it, the rest of it's all downhill. And it's downhill all the way back into Las Vegas. So it made the ride back when we were super tired really easy. You just get going really fast and you could just coast all the way down. And then they had a bike path about 10 feet from the road. So we were totally safe. You didn't have to worry about getting hit by a car or anything. Nice. And we go out there, probably 3-4 times a year, easy, just doing that. And it was a lot of fun. It was a neat thing to grow up. Climbing those rocks, and it's so pretty out there. And I mean, you just really feel, the amazing feeling you get when you're looking out over all that and looking down into things. So it was pretty neat. I mean, it was a fun place to grow up. It really was.
A lot of this, when you talk about the gym that used to be there, it's like you've mentioned so many people that you've seen and worked out there. Let's take a little dive into that. Explain the gym and what it was.
Okay, well, Eifermans Gym, when I was a kid, was the only big major gym here. There's a couple other small ones. I think there was one called Camelot or something like that. But Eifermans was the gym where everybody that was huge in Las Vegas worked out there. Everybody. And, all the professional wrestlers would come in. The Godfather was there. Bear. Yeah. His name's Bear. He was there. And I mean, he, he almost killed me one day because I was like, isn't wrestling fake? And I mean, I think I was like 17, and he was doing low rows with the whole entire stack. And he was huge compared. I mean, I was still probably, I don't know, 180, 190 pounds. And he was well over 3 bills at the time. And so when he yelled at me, I was like, phew. But it was an amazing gym. Everybody that was big in this town. And there was like a guy that we kind of grew up with here named Sam Trippy, who's probably one of the biggest and strongest guys I've ever seen that never really went anywhere with it. I mean, I would remember watching him squat 9 plates like it was nothing, doing inclines with 6 wheels like it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just sitting there going like this, you know, watching this guy do that. And he was probably like 5'10" and 330 pounds.
Damn.
He'd do straight bar curls with 315. I mean, the form wasn't like, he was even it, but still, he's doing bicep curls with 315. I mean, that's
no, 315. That's not a normal thing you see anywhere right now.
Yeah. I could only imagine if that guy ever did a powerlifting meet or a strongman contest, it'd have been sick. Because I mean, he would literally bench 6 plates on the incline and 7 plates he benched 675 back in the 80s, you know, on a flat bench.
Yeah.
It was nuts watching him. It really was. But nicest guy, Italian guy. I mean, just nicest guy you'd want to talk to. And he was a bartender at the Crazy Horse. So, but he was a bartender. He wasn't security. So it was pretty neat all the way around. I mean, he's a good dude. But there was no air conditioning in there either. If it's 110 outside, it's 110 in the gym.
That's if you're lucky.
Yeah, true. And then they put fans by the back door and fans by the front door to like get the airflow going. And then inside the men's locker room, there was probably, I would say, 8 foot by 8 foot by 6 foot cold plunge in there.
Yeah,
and the water was cold. It was probably 60 degrees. Damn. So you get too hot, too over hot. You just go jump in the cold plunge. Yeah. Come out, cool off, dry off, and go back out and train.
I mean, I can only imagine getting soaking wet and then how fast you would get dry just from getting out.
Oh yeah, because the humidity during the summer here is like 34%. So you could just go in the cold plunge, walk outside, be out there for a minute, come back in, and you're nearly completely dry.
That's it.
It is crazy.
Wasn't even that long ago. We was at your house training. It wasn't even the summertime yet, but it was like 110 in the shade at your house in the garage.
Yeah. It gets a little warm out here, but
it's a little gnarly.
It's like anything else. If you're from Canada and it's 25 degrees outside, you're like, oh, it's warm today, and you're like, you're out of your gourd. Yeah, it's freezing out here. You know, whereas here I can walk out and it's 110. I'm like, yeah, it's warm, but it's okay.
It's a little more acclimated to it. You know, some of us got it real nice out here in California where it's not too bad.
It doesn't get too cold, doesn't get too hot. So
that's it.
But it can get warm out here. And then, you know, when you're doing strongman events, especially like during the summer, you can get maybe two hard events in, then you got to come in and cool off. You have to.
Yeah.
You'll just overheat, and if it's too bad, we just jump in the pool. Yeah. Even though my pool's really warm, because that water will dissipate the extra heat in your body.
It'll pull right out of you.
Brings your temperature right back down, and all of a sudden you got your wits about you again. And then you drink some water, wait a few minutes in the house, and then go back out and hit another event. Yeah. So you get maybe 3 events in during the summer if you're lucky. Two for sure. And then 3 if you're lucky. If it's a bad day, you get 1.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's the thing too. It's like you're literally in like a strongman. Any strongman event is usually held during the summertime or even inside. So you're putting yourself at the harshest environment. Period. Sun beating on you, equipment hot. So you're already you're getting the benefits of like training in this miserable heat. Yeah. And it's like, nah, this is my everyday.
And we're a little bit of elevation here too. Up where we're at, it's about 3,000 feet. So you get a little benefit when you come down to sea level. Not like you would if you're in Colorado or something. Yeah. But it's still an advantage when you come down.
Yeah. And with speaking with all these events, for those who are heading to Worlds, you will see Nick and myself there. You know what I'm saying? So if you happen to see us, please don't be afraid to come ask us for pictures or autographs. And I'll take a picture because I'm not famous.
Yeah, you are. You're famous to me.
That's it.
But yeah, I don't even like. Fuck, I'm just some dude who can pick up stuff and run with it.
But you pick it up so well. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I want to say like yesterday or something like that. When you make something look very easy, everyone feels they can say something or do something about it. I'm like, no, this takes some practice and some elegance.
Yeah, so it's neat though, because being here, you get all kinds of people. I mean, Hopdor's been out here to train. Brian's been here. Eddie's been here. Robert's been out here. God, there's so many guys that have been through here.
Yeah, Frank Mir, you know what I'm saying? Like just going through old videos and stuff like that. Like what's it called?
And his daughter.
Yeah, and his daughter. Yeah.
Bella's a freak. I mean, she loaded a 225 stone the first time she ever did them to 49 inches.
Damn.
And she's like 150 pounds.
Yeah. Like she damn near picked herself up and put it on the.
Yeah. And she was carrying like 205 a hand on Farmer's Walk. There's some of the women competing in the major contests that don't do that very well. So, Bella's got the talent to do whatever she wants to do. Once she puts her mind to it, she will be, if she wants to be UFC women's champion, she will be. Yeah. It's just, she's at Iowa, I think Iowa State or Iowa, I believe. Yeah. And she's wrestling there. So when she finishes college, look out UFC. She's already, I think 3-0 as a pro.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah. The first girl she fought had 11 fights underneath her. It was in her early 30s. I think she was like 31.
Yeah.
So here's Bella at 17 fighting a seasoned 31-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
And beats her.
Watch
so
out. Dana White, finder's fee. You just mentioned it. No.
He already knows.
He already knows. Okay, never mind.
No, he's already signed her to a contract. There was a big thing about that. She's good to go. So
there we go. She's all locked and loaded. Well, that's one of the things too about living in Las Vegas. It wasn't even that long ago. You saw, I want to say, Raul Rosa win his debut in UFC at the Apex. You know what I'm saying? He's headed out to be one of the youngest UFC champions. He's already said it. I want to do it before John Jones did it.
Yeah, and I think he will. I mean, and then he comes over to the gym over here, the EOS that we run to. That's a few miles down the road because sometimes it'll be too hot. Sometimes we just need to get out of the house. Yeah. We'll go to there to do some training, and he was in there training. So it's pretty neat. Kid's gonna be he's gonna be something special. He really is. And he's a nice kid, and he's a really nice kid.
Well, he bought his mom a new van.
Yeah. So, but really nice, very humble kid, good kid. It's going to be neat to see the positive things that is in line for his future.
Oh yeah, that kid's going to blow up. One of the other things too is like I get to go out and visit Nick quite a bit, and one of the things I always look forward to is like whether we go or we don't go is there's an actual nice sushi spot out there that we like to hit up, and goddamn, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's the high quality, all you can eat.
$26, all you can eat.
That's it. And I always feel like every time they see us walking in, they're like, "Oh, sorry." Like, should we take it off the menu today?
Yeah, it's we've heard on that place more than a few times.
More than a few times.
It's going to be fun if we get a bunch of the guys together to come out and train at some point where there's like 5 or 6 of us. And we go in there and do like an eating challenge. I think that's something we need to get and put on put on YouTube.
Something we'll have to set something up where we can record and then be like, oh man.
Because I've eaten about 86 pieces of nigiri in one sitting. Yeah. And I got a feeling you can do over 100. So,
for most people, I have another YouTube channel and I have all this other stuff, but eating challenges is my go-to. It's my thing. I have a blessed gift of being able to just consume
fast.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there trying to eat quick, and we're eating like bowls like this full of food because I'll grind up a couple pounds. So we each got a pound of ground beef and a whole bunch of rice and some cottage cheese and some cashews and stuff all thrown in there, and some
bone broth.
And we'll just start shoveling, and I'll look up and his bowl's empty. It's just like, what the heck? And I'm eating at a good pace, and I'm still not even halfway done. It's like, okay,
that's it.
All righty. Note to self: do not challenge Ben to an eating contest.
Yeah, it won't end that well, because like I've had many people step up to the plate, and I'm like, well, we'll see what happens.
yeah, you just shut them down.
Yeah.
But so there's so much stuff here, though. I mean, Lake Mead's not that far away. So
is it all the way back up yet?
No, but I've got a feeling during the snow melt it'll go up. I mean, there's some days the last time it was this packed in the mountains where I think it was rising like 15 feet a day.
That's good.
So it'll be good to see what happens when the snow melt, because I just came back from Colorado and got caught in the storms. It was not the smartest thing I think I've ever done, but if I didn't go then, I wouldn't have got home till like today. I left Monday night, Tuesday morning. I drove through the night.
Yeah.
And with all the weather, I wouldn't have got home. But
you wouldn't.
Like I got to the Vale, and there was like a whiteout. Couldn't see anything. Couldn't see the road. And I'm like slowing way down to like 30 miles an hour, and a semi truck comes buzzing by me, and I'm like jump right in behind him. I'm just like, as long as he doesn't go off a cliff, we're going to be okay. I'll just stay right where his tires are.
That's it.
And I didn't get too close because I didn't want him to hit the brakes. And then
no time to stop. And plus with ice, you're going to slide.
Yeah. So I just kind of stayed at a distance to where it didn't mess up my windshield too bad.
Yeah.
But I could still see him, and I just stayed in his line, and I'd probably follow behind him for about an hour and a half till we got through it.
Nice.
And then hit a couple other passes on the way down through the mountains, and it would go from snow to rain and back and forth.
Yeah.
And then coming through Utah, hit a couple of those where it got pretty snowy, and again, I just jumped behind the truck.
Yeah.
And then when I started coming down to the I-15, that's when I hit the rain, and it rained the whole rest of the way home. So
man.
It was wet.
Just a little
cold.
Bit.
And very cold.
Frosty.
Yeah. So that's something else we got to do, because when they replaced the motor in my car, being here in Las Vegas, it never really gets that cold.
That's it.
And I never turned the heat on in the car. So I had to turn the heat on the car while I was driving. It did not work.
Well, we can take care of that when I come down.
Okay. Or I got to take it over to the guys that replaced the motor. Guys, you got to hook the heat up on here.
That's it. Like, you got to do something here. This is not happening.
It was 9 degrees going through that pass, and you could see my breath inside the car.
Hey, I've had many of those cars, because in California, you don't need AC really, and you don't need anything else. You're just kind of like, I'm bundled up and I'm going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
It was cool. Made it back. Got to see the wife and the kids and stuff, and
that's good.
Then fall straight to sleep. So
that's it. Well, with that being said, we're getting this part. There's some things happening, and I just saw it last night, and I sent it to you about powerlifting.
Yep.
Could you just give us your opinion on and let everyone know actually what's happening in powerlifting?
Okay, so in powerlifting, there's been an incident with the USPA where they've had some contest directors that are, taking liberties that they shouldn't, sexual harassment things, stuff like that. And unfortunately, the situations weren't dealt with the way they should have been. And it all came to a head, and it all went out publicly, and people have left the organization in droves.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. I can get it. I mean, they replaced the president and the vice president stepped down, but the president still owns the company. So there's still that kind of little thing there with, even if you stay in the organization, you're still giving the guy the money, which I don't know why he made those decisions. I mean, I like Dennis, but I mean, you can't do stuff like that. I mean, people come up with things like that. You have to investigate it. You have to go after it. You have to take it seriously. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it'll drive everybody away. Exactly. So during the meantime, the WRPF got a whole bunch of new members and a whole lot of meets coming up and all this other stuff going on. And they went from kind of like, it was a newer federation and they had records and they had all this stuff going on. They put on some very, very good meets. Yeah. I've been to some of them and they're great and set records at some of them. And it's awesome. Yeah. But they're redoing their rule book. They're redoing everything, redoing the refereeing and stuff like that, to improve the organization. They want to be the leading organization now. So they're taking those steps. And because of that, like Julius Maddox and his 788 bench, they're going to retire that record or null and void it or whatever. Yeah, it no longer exists. In their federation. Yeah. It was still reported, so it's still on open powerlifting. Yeah. But as an official thing on paper in an organization, it's gone. Just like all the records I did when I was there. Yeah. Those are all gone. They'll still be on open powerlifting, but those are gone. Now I still have a bunch in the IPL and the USPA, but so everybody who had a record in the WRPF has to go set them again. Yeah. So that's all. You just give you an opportunity to go compete and break more records. That's all. Well, and that's the thing too, is you're in that part of the transition where you're like, I want to get more into powerlifting than and then a little more into focusing on powerlifting and not so much on strongman. Right. And guess what? That's going to give you the drive to like, I'm going to go back here and reclaim what I've done. Because with the nephrectomy, because of the cancer, I mean, if you don't know, I had a total nephrectomy on my right kidney January 3rd. I had a cancerous tumor in my kidney that was about a third of the size of the kidney, and they couldn't operate around it. The whole thing had to come out, which everything's good now. The other kidney seems to be working phenomenally well and everything else, but it's just going to be easier on my body. I won't say I'll never do another strongman contest. Yeah. Because I'll never really say never. Well, but for all intents, if somebody makes it worth my while or somebody's talking some smack and I just... Is someone running that mouth? You never know when I could show up and have some fun. But... a winning kind of fun. Yeah, exactly. But for now, it's just easier on my body to do powerlifting. The high volume and stuff that comes with strongman. I mean, you got to do 5 to 6 events in one day, and sometimes pretty quick. Sometimes in like 3 hours. Yeah, and that's a lot for your body to recover from. Your kidneys have to clear out your blood and everything else. So I don't want to put that in such a state where I have an issue. Yeah. But right now I've been training pretty hard. It's certain lifts I'm back, in the 80 percentile range. Other lifts I'm still 50, 60. Yeah. But I can already tell I'm going to get back to squatting over 800, benching over 500, and deadlifting probably well over 800. Nice. Again, the goal is to pull in the mid 8s by September, by the middle of September. So and that's good. That's kind of my goal. So I'm probably going to take another 6 weeks and keep pulling reps like every other week. This week I'm going to pull 425 for 20. Yeah. And then I'll go to 450, 475, 500. When I can pull 500 for 20 is when I'll start putting some weight on the floor and really pulling it off. Nice. Because by then the scar tissue and stuff will be really solid, really healed. The muscle will be used to contracting and it'll firing be more right. And firing right. Yeah. Because It takes a bit.
Yeah, it does.
But that's okay. I mean, it doesn't matter if it takes a bit. If you go through it, when you get to the end, you're going to have the same, if not better, results. I worked through my lat issue 2 years ago. My lat is rowing wise, it's at 100%. Pull up wise, it's in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have no complaints whatsoever. So
there you go.
This will heal and be the same way.
There we go. Well, you know what, Nick?
But
that's a great update. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Letting everybody know. But you know, like I said at the beginning of the show, I let you guys know, hey, if you want to be coached by Nick, you want to be trained by Nick, you want Nick to show up, judge, be at the event, host the event, mic the event. Guess what? Link will be in the notes. Let us know, and you guess what? Get hooked up.
Yeah, just click on the link on the link tree, and let us know what you need, and we'll take care of it. I love coming out. I love meeting fans. I love coaching people. I really do. I love like judging for the lifters and stuff like that, and telling them. I mean, I'll you got to, if you're going to set a record, you got to set a record. It's going to be on the money. There is no iffy lockouts and stuff like that. You show me control, you get the down signal.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It really is.
All right. With that being said, Nick, let the people hear those magic words.
Well, thank you for watching. And as always, train hard, train smart, and be the best you can be.